Hey guys, welcome back to Alternative Hobbies, and today's episode is going to be a little bit different than what I said I was going to be doing. I spent all of last week trying to write this episode, and I just couldn't because I realized that I hadn't voiced my feelings about Stan Lee passing away. And the person who helped me kind of realize that I should make this episode, I have to give this credit to Weaponized Nerd Rage. If you guys haven't watched his stuff on YouTube, I definitely recommend checking him out. He kind of gave me this push to make this episode just about Stan Lee because it just last week didn't feel right making an episode about other things when Stan Lee had just passed. So the first time I ever saw Stan Lee was in the Spider-Man 90s television show, which was a cartoon. It was on Fox Kids. This was the first time I ever saw him. He was in the episode where he was essentially brought into Spider-Man's universe, and it kind of acknowledged that there was a universe outside of that Spider-Man's universe where Stan Lee had written Spider-Man as a fictional character. And then from there, that was just the beginning. I didn't really know what this man would mean to me later on down the road. And it kind of takes me back to my first comic book, which was Maximum Carnage, with Spider-Man, Venom teaming up against Carnage and all these other guys. Now, I know Stan Lee didn't write that, but that was my first introduction into comics. And I have to give that credit to my grandparents because my grandma actually got that from an antique store and gave it to me. When I was a kid, it was every Sunday I was at my local comic shop. I played in the Pokemon League with the cards, and then occasionally they had stuff for the DS games. And then after I was finished that day, I would always go pick out some comics to read. And I always gravitated towards Hulk, Spider-Man, and Iron Man. Those were my favorites. And I honestly don't know what my childhood would have been like without those. I don't know where I would be today if I didn't have Spider-Man, if I didn't have the Hulk, if I didn't have Iron Man, if I didn't have any of these books that Stan Lee helped with, if I had nothing. I don't know what this world for me would be like if I didn't live in a world with Stan Lee. I just don't know. I can't begin to imagine what that would be like. So that leads me to the fact that Stan Lee made me who I am. And it really upsets me that I never got to meet him in person. There were opportunities where I would have gotten the chance to meet him, but I didn't have the money to go, and I never got to say thank you to him, which kind of weighs on me a little bit. But I can't dwell on that. I can't focus on that because all that's going to do is tear me apart if I just keep focusing on it. But if I was here with him right now, I would tell him thank you for saving my life, because he did. He wrote these characters that kind of kept me going. He made my childhood what it was, and I owe all of that to him. He helped me realize that I can do what I love for a living. It doesn't matter what it is. If you love to do it, then do it. The way he talked about doing the things you loved, I knew he didn't mean it in just writing comics. He meant it as anything. And because of him, my life has always been focused around comic books and superheroes. I still remember when I was a kid and I got my first set of Spider-Man bed sheets. I was like 4 years old. That was a huge deal to me because I had toys of Spider-Man. I had books. I had the movies. I had a couple games, but I never had bed sheets. So getting those Spider-Man bed sheets was a pretty big deal to me. And now, to kind of wrap this up, I do have to say that I will forever be grateful that I got to live in a world with Stan Lee. It most definitely wouldn't have been the same. I more than likely wouldn't be pursuing a career in comics right now. I wouldn't be as creative as I am. And also, there most certainly probably wouldn't be a Spider-Man. There wouldn't be a Hulk. There wouldn't be an Iron Man. There wouldn't be any of these characters that he created that we all love. And so, Stan, if you're listening to this up there, wherever you are, I just wanted to say thank you from me and from everyone else who's listening to this, everyone else in the world who knew you. We love you. We love you. That's really all I can say. And thank you so much for giving us these characters that we have grown to love so much.